The bed is still cold from the... It's not easy, but your bones are so tired from what feel like weeks of work on the case. You have to try. After what feels like hours, you feel you might be sleeping.
So, actually I should have went exploring, because the time just stops at 2:07, it seems like. Maybe it's
baby.
for the better.
A million little lights in the dark. You're one fine instrument, brother. All those faces and all those names. All that laughter and screaming and scheming around. Every corner and every street. Recorded in you. Forever. On Faraday.
Spinning on empty.
On and on it goes. For untold hours. At the disco where you first asked her to dance. Rising. Rising. Above the dark curvature. The great wingspan of sleep. Studded with stars.
Man, speaking like that must hurt your throat so much.
Behold, there are millions of them down there. The first time, the last time. The smoke in her mouth, the plotted flowers, the faces turning, changing.
What is it?
It's the world, Harry boy, and you're made of it. Every day you're out there, you make more of yourself from it. I'm afraid you can't be unmade now. You can never forget this shit.
The colors, the voices.
All stuck on loop. Whirling, spitting out words and images. You're the son of the world again. Harrister, a ceaseless agent. Picking up litter and old newspapers. Collecting your little bubblegum wrappers and idiotic picture postcards.
Hey, how did you know?
Meaningless keepsakes. Reading your awful letters and recalling things, aren't you? The endless names of the world. An address book you are. The map of a city.
That's right, I am an agent of the world.
You'll go insane if you keep going like this. One more day, and you'll be in the loony bin. I just know you will. And for what, brother man?
For the greater good.
Solving your little crossword puzzles. Doing your tasks. Crossing names off lists. Trying to become some sort of world detector. It won't make it okay. It won't put smoke back in her mouth.
We're making progress, measured, steady progress.
There he goes again. He's a real political animal, our Harry. He still doesn't see that it's the world changing around him.
What? That's the world that's changing him, it says. But the guy said changing around him. I guess it's a mistake of a voice actor. He just misread. I mean, it's two different things, very distinct.
He's got no idea what he's in for.
Wow.
'Cause only love can break your heart.
Feel the pillow under your cheek.
Beep, beep, beep. The alarm is ringing, Harry. The disco circus goes on and on. You barely slept 3 hours last night.
Do it for the picture puzzle. Put it all together. Solve the world. One conversation at a time.
Whoa.
Good. You're up. Listen, there's something that's been bothering you for a few days now.
What is it?
It's a suspicion, or a feeling really, that things are not quite in hand around here. An earth-shattering deduction from your psyche. What will those guys come up with next? Every day, things seem to spin more and more wildly, out of control. The center isn't holding. And despite your efforts to moderate and contain these energies, things only seem to be getting worse.
I don't know what you're talking about. Wait, I thought things were going pretty well.
Oh, sure. You've been making progress on your case, interviewing people, solving side tasks. But who's focusing on the big questions?
I assume the most qualified and highly credentialed people were taking care of that stuff.
But have you ever seen them? How do you know they're even there? More importantly, how do you know they aren't waiting for your participation?
What am I supposed to do?
You've got to find out who bears la responsabilité.
What exactly is la responsabilité?
The most awesome, terrible thing. It is human nature to crave la responsabilité and to deny it. That's why it must be distributed across many different organizations, agencies, offices, and portfolios.
I thought I was assigning responsibility for the murder.
Harry, you're thinking about this too narrowly. La responsabilité isn't concerned with trivial questions like who killed who. It's about the real issues. The human welfare index, the price of staple goods, the transition to real democracy.
Alright, give it to me. I'll accept responsibility.
Whoa. This isn't some kind of dictatorship. You can't simply seize la responsabilité for yourself. It must be given by a legitimate authority, like a committee.
What are we talking even about? Do we really have time for all this?
There is always time to follow best practices. Once someone's decided to cut corners for the sake of expediency, who knows what else they're capable of? Swift, decisive action.
And who should sit on this committee?
Only the most even-keeled minds in Martinez. Your half-brother, the lieutenant, is a natural place to start. Together, you'll be able to discover who has la responsabilité in Revachol. And, if necessary, you'll have the wisdom and expertise to assign it among yourselves.
I have no fucking clue what we're trying to do right now. Are we taking over the town now? And what happens once we've assigned responsibility?
Most likely, your findings will be collected in a report, which will be carefully reviewed by your superiors. Once they've reviewed it, those same superiors will produce a set of recommendations to be taken up at the next meeting of the Standing Committee. Rest assured, no matter what happens, it will be done through the proper channels.
I'm prepared to take on this awesome burden.
Good luck. Your report is eagerly anticipated.
Fucking Looney Town. Things down here are a mess. Someone really ought to do something about it. First, though, you and some other moralists should probably form a committee to decide whose job it is. Seems like a waste of fucking time. Okay, I need to go to the Classy.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. It's barely covered in steam anymore. It's your face in the mirror, adorned with the expression.
+4 for reciting a poem. Do I really want to destroy the expression though? I mean, it's a challenge.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. It's too late. Like an image on film. The expression belongs to your primary motor cortex. It would take a minor neurological miracle for you to cease producing it.
Well, maybe it will update at some point. Okay, quickly sneak to her room before Kim shows up. Yes, okay. So there are volition checks, and I should just do double speed and the other drug. It's going to be diabolical. Actually, fuck. The morale is damaged. Then I need to go to cure it first. Weird. So does it do double damage then? Huh. Before it didn't damage, I think. But damaged after the fact. Seven psyche. So what should I do with the money? Now I have quite a lot. Could buy pants from Kuno. It's one of the tasks. There's no task to buy. No, no. Shit. Wait. Fuck. 16. Yeah, let's load.
Good. You're up. It's an earth every day. Things see. Oh, sure. But who's focusing? But you've got to find out the most. It is human. Harry, la responsibility. Whoa. Like a commit. There's swift. This only your half together. you'll be once they rest assured. Good luck.
Is there even a point to do drugs then? Well, I do have two more skill points, I guess. Because I need to be alone for this. If I go down, Kim joins me immediately. Okay, so I can do one of the drugs that actually hurts my health instead. Come on. Seems pretty glitchy. Good thing there is not much gameplay in here.
Hello, officer. What brings you up here again?
Oh wait. Yeah, for the check I don't actually need to be alone. Okay. Well, anyway.
Ah, yes. The night before I saw you in the hallway and reminded you you're a police officer.
The date of your re-entry into the fossil record.
Yes, before I emerged like Paleolithic megafauna. It's one of the first things I remember doing in Elysium. Before you was only the room, the sound of the motor vehicle, steam in the bathroom, and darkness. Yes, before I emerged like a Paleolithic megafauna.
Wow. That's some creation myth stuff right there.
Before you, was only the room, the sound of the motor vehicle, steam in the bathroom, and the darkness.
Wow. Mythopoetically adequate stuff.
She's a glib girl, but she liked the wording.
Did you hear something Sunday night from my room?
There was the usual ruckus. Loud disco music.
Did I have any visitors?
I can't say. Probably not. Sounded like you were flying solo.
You mentioned loud disco music.
Oh, yes. Various artists. Ostentatious orchestrations prime among them.
She arches her brow, waiting for it to connect with you.
Oh, that? Yeah. Whoa. The less said about OO, the better.
were huge where I come from. I was very young then, of course, like 7. Life gets hard, but we go on.
Then, doesn't life get hard because we go on?
Maybe we should stop going on then. Doesn't go on cause the getting harder part?
I think you might have come to the same conclusion last night. At around 2 o'clock, the disco stopped, and there was a change of pace.
What happened?
A slow, sad song started playing. Like organ music on repeat. That went on for quite a while. Some of that time you were yelling along to it.
Was I singing this?
Yes, there was a church in there. A really small church. Like the smallest, saddest church in the whole world. It was about that. And also...
What else?
that it doesn't matter anymore, and that we're alone now. It was difficult to tell. The song itself was very quiet and soft, but you sounded like a wounded boar, sir. It was hard to understand what you were singing on top of it.
When you say wounded, do you mean that in a cool way, like a wild beast?
Yes, it was very cool.
It's impossible to say whether she's being sarcastic or really means it.
Then what happened?
Then you started screaming and trashed the place.
That's so me. What did I do?
A window was smashed, the tape player probably, the song stopped. And furniture too. A real destructathon. There was screaming. Then I think you passed out.
Please tell me there wasn't anything else.
There was. I think you screamed that you didn't want to be this type of animal anymore. I may have misheard, but it was sort of memorable. I went out afterwards. Everything was quiet by then. Around 4 or 5. And that was it.
Thank you.
No problem, sir.
Alright. La responsibility. Wow, we really cleaned things up. Okay, let's go to the store, buy magnesium. Get Kim. Go back.
Yes?
Oh. Yeah, it's funny that it wasn't mentioned that Kim didn't like stop me and ask about the boots. Cause I just stole them from the corpse, it's evidence. Okay, let's first do the thing I wanted, then we'll talk about everything else. Oh, what? The yellow roses in the window, those aren't the flowers that were left for Classy. Okay, so they are not from this place, he means?
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles, nasal spray.
Okay, here. I hope Saint Baptiste make. Okay, here. Okay, here. I hope Saint Baptiste makes you feel better or something.
Alright. Alright, now more drugs. How much volition is that? 7, I think.
Officer, what brings you up here in the rain?
Soft,
you
light
go.
brown eyes look back at you, directly into the space behind your eye sockets. You see the smoke rise from between her painted red lips. She's beautiful. I have bad news for you.
What?
You know these guys? Who? Me? Yes, you. He's talking about you, you boring stiff. You too. Me? What did I do? I'm merely a master thespian. These guys are compromised. She's got them singing along to her tune. The little bleeps and bloops you trust for info, you can't trust them anymore.
Really? What?
Believe it.
Is she actually was lying to me all this time? Which ones exactly are affected?
There's no way of knowing. At the moment, I'm afraid it's best to assume all of them.
How did this happen?
How it always does, through subtlety.
What can I do?
There's nothing you can do about it. You are how you are, and she is how she is. Things will go as they do.
Can you turn them normal again?
No,
What use is this then?
it's better to know you're being played than to be played without knowing it, is it not?
So all that she was saying was... Well, not all, but... She's lying? Really? Does this mean she's been lying to me?
Yes, Mr. Thespian here has been singing paeans to how truthful she is. She is a lady, most fair and just. In his defense, to reduce him to such inadequacy, she probably had to employ half-truths more often than outright lies. That is correct.
But we already knew
And
that.
omissions too.
Can I trust that guy?
A little. They're all still of limited use, interpreting things to the best of their ability. Maybe they add flair or something. I wouldn't know. I don't add flair. But when it comes to assessments of character and factual accuracy, they are not to be trusted. Not with her.
Can I trust any of them ever again?
Don't be melodramatic. You can trust them. Just not with Miss Orange Disco Dancer here. A light green speck and imperfection on the outer rim of her right iris. It sparkles.
So she was raped. I have no fucking clue. What is her plan?
You can't draw a sound conclusion. The one he usually does says, she may want to control the information rollout, not to become a suspect. She may have a past she's escaping, unrelated to this case. You doubt it's something truly insidious. See? It's oddly moderate, probably compromised.
So, meaning that she might be a very wanted criminal? I mean, yeah, she basically said that she has a passport on the beach, which is very strange. I've been talking to myself long enough, let's get back to it.
Don't worry. It's only been 4 or 5 seconds. You've got this.
Miss, are you manipulating me?
The silence broken. She exhales a little cloud of smoke and says,
God, no.
But we didn't really get anything. Only the knowledge, I guess. That she might say half-truths that we already knew.
Sure. The wreck? Yeah. All right. Yeah? Yeah. I've contaminated it pretty bad.
Is that why you are out here?
The contamination spreads from room to room. First, I escaped upstairs. The sad got that too. Then I found the handle for the summer door.
What exactly is the nature of this contamination?
For me, it's a mix of me with a lack of cleaning services. How about you? Talk around the establishment is, you have an industrial sad spill in there.
For me, it's alcoholism, yes.
Cool. I think I'm developing a pinch of that too. It hasn't done wonders to my taste in interior decoration. All right. Not my favorite topic. How about we,
Yes, miss. All right.
Well,
Coolly. Great.
that's not terribly helpful. I'm high. Oh, yeah. There was another role I wanted to do. Where is it?
It's the ledger you found in the trash.
There we
A
go.
cabbage of papers hanging from the board, with the permeables drawn in. The two sides of the board appear slightly misaligned, like a drawer that's come off its slides. If you bend the plastic on your knee slowly, the slides snap back into place. It should be possible to just,
Slide the drawer open.
without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open.
What's inside?
2 ticket stubs and a handmade postcard. 2 octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles toward each other in the colored pencil drawings. The tickets permit access to the zoo in Revachol East. The aquarium costs extra. These let you go there too.
Pick up the card. Fucking kill yourself, you asshole. What?
Thin wax paper has been glued to a piece of cardboard. Sounds like leaves rustling when you pick it up. You see violet flowers, floral patterns, patches of glue.
Smell it?
It smells of chewing gum, apricot flavored.
Mmm.
Exactly like the gum wrapper you found. The same brand of chewing gum. Familiar handwriting lines the inside of the card. Looped, round letters in a woman's hand. A young woman in her 20s. There is care, effort, and a smile, you think. Although that is not something you can read from someone's handwriting. Harry, it begins. You're already reading. I wanted to write you a letter so you can read it when you wake up. Maybe it will make you happy. Throw it away, please.
I want to know. But it will make me happy.
Outside, you hear the wind
Quotations.
howl. A sudden gale blows in from Martinez, flapping street signs and window blinds. Your hand shakes, holding the card. Every morning when I step out and you're asleep behind me, it says, I find a little piece of sadness in me. I carry it in my chest, down Voyager Road. Every step I take, it grows. By the time I reach the fuel station, it has filled me entirely. I step onto the light rail and look back. Sparks fall from the bow collector. I know it will be like this until late afternoon, when I get off the 42 and walk back to you. You. Every step I take will get lighter. It almost makes me run. Sometimes I do. I can't believe I met you. I can't believe the happiness I feel with you. You have a vast, vast soul, and I will always, always, always come back to it. Kisses, kisses, kisses. You feel the air sucked out of your
Uh-oh.
lungs and the blood sucked out of your head. Everything around you
Don't
gets
die
numb.
now.
small white dots appear. Sparks fall like snow from the bow collector. A streetcar distancing. You feel the ledger slip from your hand. No, hold on.
Hold on.
To what? There's nothing.
Detective, is everything alright?
Fall sideways. What the hell? Are those credits? Oh man, this imagery. What?
There is nothing. Again.
Nothing?
Nothing sad, brother. No treachery. Just blackout.
Just lie there, passed out.
Well, almost nothing. There is the ground below you. That's still there. And the small light that's on, fluttering, somewhere in the basal ganglia.
Who's that?
That's me. Blue eyes, that's me.
And who was that?
Who was what?
He speaks of the sickening longing, the unwell emotion. Even in the darkness, he's grasping for it. Still trying to hold on to the great sorrows slipping in the water. Slimy.
Yeah, that's the stuff.
Here in the paleo-mammalian cortex, we call it the shadow. Because it's always there.
Tell him.
Ah, yes. In the olfactory system, they call it the apricot chewing gum scented one. It's unhealthy of them to linger on it so. But as they say, what do you do?
Smells like betrayal.
Yeah, man. Fuck everything. Total blackout forever.
Was that the X something? The
Bloated corpse of the past resurfacing.
yes, that.
Don't prod at it. It will start moving again.
Where's Voyager Road?
There is no Voyager Road. There are no roads, no houses, no lights in the windows. It's all on pause.
So my name appears to be Harry.
Your name is fuck all.
I mean, we already know our full name pretty well. I guess I should have did this earlier.
It certainly ain't Harry. Your
Then what is it?
name is passed out on the ground, dragged around by one of the other evil apes. They're taking you somewhere.
There was something about a bow collector too.
Yeah, man. What was that about?
Enough, just lie there motionless.
You think they would let you? Until you disintegrate into biomolecules? No. Someone is breathing on your face now, inspecting your pupils, stupid idiot.
What is that? It's cold.
Yes, they're pouring something on you. It's in you. And
It's delicious. Glowing lights on a dashboard emerge out of nothingness.
What the? Where am I?
In the upholstered cabin of Lieutenant Kitsuragi's motor carriage, seated in the driver's basket. The air is thick with leatherworks and heavy fumes.
Oh, those are real, I
Cold
guess.
water runs down your chin.
Drink. Water.
The water is cold, silvery, the stuff of life itself as it pours down your parched throat. The pounding in your head recedes. The darkness parts.
Drink. You haven't drunk water in 2 days. Did you know the human body is not made to survive on alcohol alone?
Also didn't
You need a
eat
secondary form of hydration.
only a sandwich.
Actually, beer and cider have loads of water in them.
You know, in the Franco-Nigerian centuries, the quality of water was so bad that it was sometimes more hygienic to drink beer.
But these are not the Franco-Nigerian centuries. We are in the present. It is safe to sometimes drink water here.
He hands you the canister.
With greedy gulps, you down half a liter of cold water. Some of it spills on the driver's seat. The lieutenant pays no heed to it.
What happened?
I should ask you the same.
You were reading your paperwork. Then you passed out. I carried you to my kinema to take you to a hospital. Then you came to.
How long was I out?
10 minutes, maybe.
I came in contact with the burned out ruins of the past, Lieutenant. I was dehydrated. It won't happen again. Fuck it. Start climbing out of the motor car. I came in contact with the burnt out ruins of the past, Lieutenant.
That does sometimes happen.
He replies with such understanding, it's as if the burnt-out ruins of the past were an occupational hazard. Athlete's foot for cops.
You dropped these. Are you okay to proceed?
Let's solve this case.
Good.
The Ledger of Failure and Hatred is a special item that can be used both as an interactable and a tool equipped in your held slot for skill bonuses. Find it under the Tools tab in your inventory.
Ooh. Skill bonuses. Also have 3 skill points. Should I go for more endurance? Having extra health wouldn't be bad. I would save up, but also I need to start developing my core skills too. I've been ignoring it for a long time. Let's put 1 in endurance, 1 logic, 1 in encyclopedia, then rhetoric. There's a bunch of new thoughts. The bow collector. Sparks fall like snow from the bow collector of streetcar number 42, slowly down the slope from Voyager Road and then east on the B206 across the river to where there are no closed factories or ruins. To study at the academy. Electrical cables run overhead and the bow collector throws across them like a musical instrument. A flash. She's standing at the rear window, holding onto the rail, a spring coat waving at you. This is going to help me remember my wife. There are some useless thoughts like feminist because it doesn't really add anything. I do like this one. It's fine. No, I still need to wait with this. White morning. You see yourself from above. You are passed out on the blue tiles of the hostel room floor. Even from the distance you can see your eyelids flutter at the mention of what? A great white object letting out its sweet smell like a lily of the valley. The little man's forgotten its name, but he still remembers the feeling. And look, he moves. The feeling animates him. He instinctively reaches out for the feeling's best friend, a bottle of Commodore Red. He puts on his disco clothes and gets smaller and smaller. So the ledger... Oh, okay. -2 authority, +1 empire, and +1 empathy. This is the same ledger you found in the trash on the wars somehow.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the book. Without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. It's...
Will he actually kill himself? Or break down? Let's just save.
It's the ledger you found in the trap. Without resistance or sound.
Fucking kill
the two
yourself, you
panels
asshole.
moved. The words just crossed your mind somehow.
Who they were for.
Who do you think?
That's it, okay.
It's slightly, ever so.
I guess we could check how it looks. We do have a shit ton of empathy though.
Kuno saw you wield that can. Sweet graffito action, pig. Kuno likes that delinquent shit.
Yeah, you like art, Kuno?
Fuck no, art shit.
He takes a step back. Got it. Art shit.
That's right, pig. Shit.
+1 saver free, +1 physical instrument. Well, it's the second tier. Wait. It's actually a third tier, because it actually gives you +2 instead of +1.
Here, pig. We're full now. Performance buddies.
Kuno unzips his jacket again and pulls the pants out of the plastic wrapping.
Kuno can already see you soaring through the air like a fucking eagle. Pig's in Kuno's debt now. Money debt.
He looks at you with pride.
Money debt doesn't mean anything. He's just saying words. You're not in his debt.
The fuck do you want with it? Good call, Pigmeister. Yeah? Yeah, whatever.
Pigmeister.
Kuno doesn't give a shit. The fuck about it? You're Get lost. Kuno doesn't fuck.
Kuno doesn't fucking care. Wait. Accidentally I equipped this shit on the right click. Even more stylish. So it's sneaking and physical strength. I think there was a book. Heimdall. Oh yeah, let's talk to the lieutenant.
Yes?
Aren't we going to talk about the boots I'm wearing?
Okay, let's talk about it. You stole the boots.
He looks at the gleaming technological footwear you're sporting.
Congratulations. That must have taken an enormous concerted effort, considerable ingenuity and timing. Now, I'm going to report you and you are going to go to jail.
Lie. Lie to get out of it.
You're joking.
Am I? Anyway, did you want something related to police work?
I don't care about your insane theft, the lieutenant thinks, and looks away from the boots. Just know, if anyone asks me, I will snitch on you.
Kim, we need to talk about la responsabilité.
I'm glad to hear it, Detective. I was wondering when we'd get to this very subject.
Good, we are on the same page then.
If you ask me, it's past time for you to cut back on the smoking. You seem like a man with a death wish. It's quite disturbing. And I hope we don't even need to discuss the street drugs you've been abusing.
Oh, nice. He's keeping track of what I'm using. I meant like la responsabilité. I can't give up street drugs now, I just got addicted to them.
The lieutenant's quizzical expression gradually deepens into a frown.
So, what are we talking about then?
I'm talking about la responsabilité, you know, the kind that gets assigned.
Why are you pronouncing it like that gentleman from the Institute of Price Stabilité?
I don't know.
You know what? Forget it. What specifically are you trying to assign responsibility for?
For this whole situation.
Ah, now I understand.
You do? The lieutenant nods his head gravely.
Next, I suppose you're going to tell me you need to form a committee to assign this responsibility?
Yes, exactly.
Fascinating. And here I believed your recent turn toward moralism was just an act. In any event, I am just a humble law official. I may work under the moral intern's umbrella, but I'm certainly not qualified to serve on any committee. You know who might be, though? That Mr. Villedroit, the gentleman you met in the young man's apartment.
Yeah, but how the hell are we going to find him now?
If I were trying to get in touch with the coalition, I would start by seeking him out. But first you might need to speak with his young companion. Now, was there anything else?
I still have no idea what we are doing.
Hi again, gendarme.
I need to talk with you, your Sunday friend, again. It's about committee business.
Oh, a committee. How interesting.
He smiles.
And if I may ask, gendarme, what is this committee about?
He's all bemused
He takes a measured drag.
skepticism. He doesn't actually care what you want with his friend.
It's about assigning la responsabilité.
God, of course it is. My friend is always trying to convince me I need a little more responsibility, as though I don't have enough going on already. In any case, I would love to help. But the thing is, I don't know where he is. We don't talk about everything, you see.
He gently taps the end of his cigarette with his forefinger.
He might have mentioned something about making a tour of some historical sites up the coast. In an unofficial capacity, of course.
Historical sites. I saw a museum, maybe, on the map, but never actually found it. I guess I'll have to look for him along the coast.
I guess you will. Bye-bye, gendarme.
Smoker says that his Sunday friend has gone for a stroll along the coast. There's a conversation with Hardy's.
It's you again. What is it?
Walk faster. So I talked to Classy about the tape. But we skipped to this part. We should have talked to him after we listened to the tape. And then I guess he would have sent me to Classy.
And
And nothing. She stands by what she said.
that fucking fucker. You're the worst cops in Revachol. I gave you gold on that tape.
He stares at his beer for 2 seconds intently, then turns to you.
That fucker wasn't aimed at you. It was at her.
It was dark stuff, but it didn't prove anything, and it didn't change her mind. I mean, she knows if she was raped or not. It was dark stuff, but it didn't prove anything, and it didn't change her mind.
Dark. Dark is when you start a goddamn death rock band. He said he'd rape her.
He shakes his head in disbelief.
Sounds like he wanted it to change her mind about the hanged man. This is definitely personal.
What did she have to say then? Fine by her? This is what people are supposed to be like? Fucking whoop-de-doo.
A little nostalgic. Huh. Yeah, I actually said that. Titus, she said she would like to be a little door gunner herself if she could.
Yes. In fact, I think she thought it was a little funny.
The lieutenant looks at you, then him.
Funny. No good goddamn psycho whore.
Yeah, she's quite unhinged. Titus mumbles, his lips barely moving.
Seems like they wanted to give Klasia a second chance to play along. She still didn't.
Right. All fucking righty then. I guess it's good then. That fucking...
But yeah, it's not clear if they are what they are doing with this. They are playing their own game, I think.
Please try to control yourself in the presence of visitors, Titus.
Her voice is a bit softer than earlier.
This is just perfect. Just fucking perfect. Any thoughts on this, lawman?
Titus rubs his chin with his palm as if trying to grind it smooth.
You don't have to say everything out loud. Just mix and match.
Mixing much? You had a lie planned, but she didn't play along. Maybe she isn't who you thought she was. Maybe she is still in denial. I don't know. Maybe she isn't who you thought she was.
Nah, I know her. She's just a girl. In over her head.
Titus She has my whole skill set compromised. She's some kind of a pro. You don't know? She's a model. She won a pageant. She's not some helpless girl. She handled the mercenary well enough. She's a hardcore party girl with a bigger death wish than mine. Yeah, also from where she actually earns money. That's also another question. Titus, she has my whole skill set compromised. She's some kind of a pro.
What kind of pro? Y'all saying she's a hooker?
He forces himself to pick up the beer and take a gulp.
No, he's not saying that. Forget about it.
I think this is personal for you. I think you had feelings for her.
Yeah, they're all queers. Can't bump, hard fist, or anything.
Glenn explodes with indignation. What? It's not what he said. They all queers, and then something else. Everyone's got feelings for each other. Where are you going with this?
It's all right, Glenn. I just thought I thought anyone would come around if they heard that shit. Apparently I was wrong.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
He smiles sympathetically.
You wanted her to see the man for what he was. Now that you know, you might want to lay off this topic, or else you might antagonize him.
I just got too worked up. Big man lost his shit. It's cool now.
He shakes his head. Alright. Be straight with me, Titus. What really happened?
I already told you. We fucking hanged him.
He puts his giant face in his hands and sighs.
There's less gusto in his voice now. His men too are growing increasingly silent. They're confused. This is growing over their heads.
Come on, Titus. We know you didn't hang him. He was shot. I know you're tired. So am I. Why don't you just...
You know what? I am tired. I'm tired of you and the whore upstairs. Next time you see her, tell her Titus said, "Fuck on!"
He throws his beer can down.
That lying, scamming. We're done. This is over. You understand? Your little investigation is over. Yeah.
There is a silence in the room. Alan starts saying something, then thinks best not to.
On the floor, beer drips out of the can into a small puddle. No one does anything about it.
What is this quiet funeral shit? What we need is some beers in us. Bartender, 20 beers for the Dock Workers Union.
He looks around.
Why do we make it 40, huh? Why do we make it 100 beers? You're not loud enough.
The man shouts from behind the counter.
100 beers? Now we're talking. Hoppity hop over here, cafeteria manager.
Oh boy. Convince Titus he is being manipulated. What's the bonuses? The shit, why is it... There we go. Mention surreal play, strange reaction on to bullet. Surreal play? Strange reaction to bullet? I guess that's the evidence we showed them. Everard asked to cooperate. Okay, that's just a bunch of things that also been involved in authority check.
Convince Titus he's being manipulated. You should know by now. Titus Hardy will never falter.
One of his boys will?
Just remember, it's about more than Glazia. It's about these men and Martinez. Their district. Their responsibility.
That's it then. Case closed. We're going home, Kim.
Huh?
The lieutenant raises his brow.
He'll get it. Go on.
Write it down, Kim. In Martinez, they just kill you because they don't like you.
Got it. Kill you because they don't like you. All because...
Like killing because you work for the wrong people, because you're a foreigner. Will that work? Because of some chick? Well, it said not to focus on Clasier this much. Will the racist thing work on those guys? Because they might be a little bit racist too. Because they like killing.
Yeah, we liked it. It was fun, wasn't it, guys? We had a great time.
It wasn't for your fucking entertainment, Dennis. She...
He gets a hold of himself.
They kill you because they think it's funny.
They just hang you like in the Dark Ages. Make it useless, of course. They just hang you, shoot you, whatever. They can't even remember. They're saying you, shoot you, light on fire, they don't care. They just hang you, shoot you, whatever, they can't even remember. Or maybe display a corpse like a Dark Ages. Does it even matter? It's more graphic. They just hang you like in Dark Ages, make a display of your corpse.
It wasn't that. It wasn't... We just couldn't get him down, okay?
The fat man says with a wheeze.
That's it. That's the weak one. You flushed him out. Now go in for the...
Officer, you will be next if you don't shut up.
The old man reaches for his belt, but his voice is strangely calm.
He's onto you. He knows what you're trying to do.
Look at Kim first. So what's going on here? Or what? You're gonna kill me like you killed him for no fucking reason? Or to Theo, what happens if I keep talking? You're gonna kill me too in this bar for nothing? Look at Kim first.
The lieutenant has put down his notebook. His hand is resting on his holster. He gives you an imperceptible nod. What? What does that mean?
Okay, that's not helpful. I mean, we flashed out the weakling, so we should go for Angus. And if Theo already knows what we are doing, it's not going to affect him, right? Or what? You are gonna kill me like you killed him? For no fucking reason?
We didn't kill him. We didn't even hang him. He was dead when...
He takes a breath, wheezing.
Shut up, Angus!
He was dead before you hanged him.
Fatty! Say one more thing to the cops and I'll...
The little guy hits Angus on the back of his head, a loud slap. We didn't even hang him? He was dead when... But we already kinda knew that too. So they hanged him, right? They were the ones who hanged him anyway. Like, yeah, that's a fact based on the boots too.
Dennis, stand down, or I'll beat your head in. Theo, take your hand off the belt. This isn't 31. I've got this under control.
The Titus Roars. There's some weird stuff going on with the quotes. The room falls quiet, so quiet you can hear Angus wheeze.
Angie, where's your goddamn inhaler? You sound like you're dying.
I left it home. I can't get it. I'm too fucked. I'm sorry.
He grabs his chest.
Why are you so fucking fat, Angus? Now it's all pointless. Because of you. You wasted my time. I told you, Titus. I told you just give her up.
Lizzie snaps at him.
Lizzie, your help is no longer needed here. Go tell Everard.
Fine. I'll tell him. After a long walk along the coast.
Is that a invitation? So I could talk to her alone?
What just happened between these two? You're in. He's all yours. Questions.
Swoop in for the kill. I'm sorry I made you guys fight.
Me too.
We did it, Cam.
The lieutenant gives a smile only you can see.
So you didn't kill him, he was already dead.
He nods.
You hanged the corpse to cover up the real cause of death. The bullet in his head.
So let's assume it was the girl with the who sold drugs, the 8th Hardy girl who is missing right now. Also could be Classy, but that's kind of weird.
Another nod.
Wow.
Cause the girls asked us to. They were in some shit.
Girls plural. There's another girl. 2 of them. Take note of this.
Oh.
They'll probably say more about her later.
Did she kill him?
Cop, I have no idea. The girl says she didn't.
He doesn't think she did. Or at least he hopes she didn't.
What happened Sunday night?
Classier came down. She seemed really out of it. Drugged up, even more than usual. Bug-eyed and
Sunday night.
Not in a fun way.
But didn't it happen on Friday? I can't fucking understand this. Shit. Didn't I came here on Sunday? Guess I've mixed up a lot of things. Okay, let's assume it was on Sunday then. He points to the stairs.
It looked like she'd redosed after something went down. I've seen that look before. She was scared. I knew someone had died.
How do you know?
I've done this job for 10 years. I've seen it before. It's the politician in the motel room with the dead hooker scenario. Only in reverse.
Good analogy, boss.
The rat-faced man snickers.
You don't get to talk yet, Shanky. You're still on the bench.
He points at him.
Taking it easy too, Angus.
He turns back to you.
That's okay with the fat man, still wheezing there. He couldn't speak if he wanted to.
What happened then?
We went upstairs. Sure as day the Merc was dead. There was a bullet hole through the window. Fucking dirty sheets and bottles everywhere.
Through the window? Somebody shot him with the rifle? What? In the mouth too. Jeez. You have to be a very good shot. Also, you have to cover blood and throw out sheets. We never found any bloody sheets.
He means they'd been fucking?
Tibbs patched the window. And the corpse. We hanged.
Tibbs? Who the hell is Tibbs? Who's Tibbs? The 8th Hardy? We already know it's... Actually, who knows? Maybe she called Tibbs?
Nah, he's my brother. He's in the window replacement business.
Tibbs. That's short for...
Tiberius? Is that even... It's probably nothing. Short for Tiberius?
Yeah. Good man.
He nods.
Bet their father's name, Atticus Hardy. Lucretia Hardy would be their sister. Anyway.
Yeah, a lot of Roman names in their family for some reason. If Claudia didn't kill him, why the cover-up?
You may have noticed our girl's in some shit of her own.
You mean she's completely unrelated to the murder? I don't know. There's also this mysterious person in a peephole. Yeah, I told you she's not what she seems. She's had special training for something shady.
Oh, you meant that kind of training, like a spy. Maybe. The kind of people who are after her. I guess she'd have to be.
He scratches his chin. These people? Who are they?
They're powerful. Connected to the Moor Lantern. She's clearly afraid for her life. Says if she showed up in your systems, she'd be ghosted away.
That's all he knows. That's all she's told him.
And why would you help someone like that? By taking on a murder?
Why would I? I guess we abide all sorts of runaways and losers here. It's a Martinez thing.
So, who killed the merc then? Any leads?
Not yet. Just some ideas. She says the shot came from outside, behind the window somewhere. So that's a clue.
But it's just a roof there. Or maybe there's a higher building. We can't actually see. Look around, you know. You have to be a very incredible sniper though, to land such shot also through the window. Not only headshot, but also to the mouth. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking someone's past caught up with them. Either hers or his.
Must be related to the strike, right? It's a weird coincidence.
Hers, you mean?
I mean the people after Claudia. Maybe the shot missed. Maybe it was meant for her.
I like that. Been thinking the same thing myself.
And you had ideas about his past too?
My dude. One of those mercenary buddies of his could have done it. They got guns, training, years.
But he was shot with an old
probably.
rifle though.
Or it could have been someone else from Crenell.
It doesn't really fit well, but there were two people involved. One in a peephole and one with a rifle.
Tell you what I'd do.
So
Check out
could
the
fit
coast
too.
for vantage points. Maybe consult with a ballistics buddy of mine. That's what I'd do. If I wasn't too busy doing this clown dance with you.
Ballistic buddy? Who's that?
He's calm now. Threw all that turmoil away and became himself again. These theories, not bad. Don't buy either one, but still, this guy's not as dumb as he looks.
Whose idea was to hang him anyway? Hers?
In a manner of speaking.
Remember the two girls? He may be talking about the other one.
Earlier you said the girls asked for your help. Was this the other girl?
That's right. It was her idea to hang him. I liked it for political reasons. It sent a good message.
It's her, isn't it? The drug trafficker, the missing eighth Hardy.
Fella, you think too much. He's off all right. You're gonna hurt your head.
The big guy steps toward you.
A little too far there, but you're definitely right.
That woman is just affiliated with the Hardy Boys. You don't know her, anyway.
Yeah, he's not going to tell us. You know, it's okay for there to be a Hardy girl, Titus.
We're Hardy Boys. And that's it.
You're going to stonewall me if I ask more about her, aren't you?
Glad you understand that.
Thank you for this, Titus. I'll go talk to her for the last time.
You do that. Hey, cop. Before you go, Clausia, came to Martinez to hide. Many of us did. This is where you wash up when there's nowhere left to go. The Union takes you in. Now, she refused that protection.
But you would still prefer if we didn't take her anyway.
That's right. If we didn't take care of the people who end up here, this place would just be a couple of ruins and some cargo containers.
It's so quiet all of a sudden.
We'll take that into account.
The lieutenant slides his notebook into his coat pocket. He turns to leave. Well, that was interesting. Should we talk to each other first? Yeah. I guess not. Get the whole story from Titus. Confront Clausia with the Hardy story. I guess so.
The man ponders his...
Wait, can we first look at the window again?
This window is...
So the shot must have come from this angle. From the abandoned building, right? Wait, fuck. I didn't actually look at it. And the rifle was in the abandoned building too.
This window is pristine on the inside, unlike the one next to it. Smooth following your...
Weird.
It's always good to see you.
She cracks a weary smile, leaning back against the railing.
Something in her demeanor has changed. She's tired, consigned to her fate, to being here with you and what's to come.
The Hardy Boys told us what really happened.
I understand.
She puts her coffee mug on the table. You don't look surprised. You were expecting this.
I knew there was a chance you'd get them to tell you. It's what you do. You're the police. For what it's worth, I'm sorry for wasting your time.
She winces.
This is good. Clear the air first, between you two. then move on to questions. No, it's not good. It's the opposite of that. This will let her dictate the terms of your... Shush, I can't hear what she's saying.
I should try to listen to Volition, maybe?
If you knew we would find out eventually, why did you waste our time?
Because of the Hardys. I couldn't just dispense with them. They were only trying to help me. Out of the shit I'd gotten into.
She looks at her feet.
Is she implying the Hardy Boys are the law?
The Hardy Boys are not the law. We are.
I know that. But the people around here, they don't see it that way. And if I am to stay here, I need to get along with them.
That's not a good enough reason.
You're right. There's more.
More?
You answer to the coalition government, and by extension, the moral intern.
She reaches for a new cigarette. What's the RCM's involvement with the moral intern got to do with this?
You share a database with them. You send people to their courts.
Yeah, I'm not arguing. So the people you mentioned, the ones who are angry at you, is this part of why Orani is a bad memory for you? Has this got something to do with you being Miss Orani 37? Well, I guess yeah, there are people who want her caught. It is about people who you mentioned, to the ones who are angry at you.
It is. They're after me. And they have friends in the moral intern. Some are moral intern. If I show up in your records, officer, they will find me. They will.
What happens if they do?
They will kill me, sir. If you file my name, take me in for questioning, enter me into the moral intern mill.
How can I trust you, though? You've been lying so much. You've been shady for a long time. Maybe it's not that bad. Maybe you're some kind of like scammer or a spy and you're just going to serve a sentence. You never know.
Well, then I'm fucked. For nothing. This murder didn't have anything to do with me.
Fucked? People after her? Moral intern people? This isn't Orani's lit. Actually, this murder did have a little to do with her.
Logic? What the fuck? I thought you were on her side, and I should not listen to her. You said you studied Orani's lit. What is it with the fugitive stuff?
I did. I also had a side job selling insurance that I was really good at. Got picked up by a bank. Competitive intelligence, they called it. After that, I sort of, transitioned out of the whole culture scene.
What did you do to have these people after you? Again, emphasis on people. Like, these people after you, not these people after you. That's weird.
It's not nice, but it's not illegal. Not here in Ravishol, or even in Orania.
What exactly did you do?
Industrial espionage. I joined a business collective with the intention of betraying them. I did my job well enough to be asked to do it again. With a bigger company. The kind you really, really don't fuck with. I took their ledgers, 2 decades worth of accounting.
I need the names of the companies involved and who hired you.
He taps on his notebook.
The job was Lewes-Duin County Savings Bank. They sound small, but they're part of the Lewes-Scott conglomerate. That was the second job. The first was some printer company. You wouldn't know them.
Was there a printer company? Trivia?
But she really destroyed them. She still feels it.
What was the company the blonde guy was talking about? Tape computers? Yeah, it's not related.
As to who hired me for the job, I don't know. But they're after me too, along with Luskop and their friends in the MI. Once you're done in the competitive intelligence circuit, you don't have allies. You're radioactive.
Laws Cap. These people engineer financial disasters in second world countries. The conglomerate also includes the Bank of Consecration, Airbird, and the popular Papalolo line of dairy products.
Papalolo.
Yeah. Papa fucking Lolo wants to kill me.
She smiles. I'm sure there are people who have done much worse than that.
Sure. I'm not a war criminal, but it was bad. People lost their jobs. Good people too, not just C-suite.
She shakes her head at the thought.
A lot of people got hurt.
She concludes.
But that's just more of my shit you shouldn't have to deal with. You're solving a murder.
That can wait. Look into her eyes. There's more.
What did you do?
One of them killed themselves because of me.
She looks down, then into your eyes.
She says it quickly, like she said it 100 times. To herself, to get used to the idea, out of guilt.
That's bad. How do you live with yourself?
I don't. How do
She
you live
shrugs.
with yourself?
I do drugs.
Drugs are good. I also do those. I try to bargain with myself too.
What happened here the night he died?
We were there. Together. In bed, I mean.
She points to the window. The silhouette of the bed is visible. Tell me exactly what happened.
Okay. He was in a kneeling position. He had just entered me. I was on my back, looking at him. I heard the window behind me shatter, and I turned to look. There was a hole in the glass.
Interesting. So it was in the middle of the action too. And we took the sperm analysis, and I bet it's going to come positive. Also, did the Kim send it already? Can we get the result? So he got shot in the mouth right when he was coming.
I turned back to him. His eyes were looking through me, and his mouth was open. Dumb. I could see. I knew he was dead. Before he fell down on top of me.
You were right. He did enjoy the moment of his death.
So my feeling was right earlier. He was enjoying the moment of his death.
Yes, but how did you know that?
You asked her before if he enjoyed it. She avoided it. How did I not discern it was a lie?
You are dumb me.
You know how.
He just had a hunch. Detectives have those sometimes.
Then what happened?
He was heavy. I pushed him off and he fell to the floor. There. He only had his boots on. I bit the pillow, not to scream, then ran downstairs.
So you put the underwear on him. Huh. Oh, actually, he might not been ready to come. Maybe when the muscles relax, it also just... I don't know how it works. Like with the shit, you know, when people die, they shit their pants sometimes. There's a long pause. She just stands there, her arms at her sides.
I waited for the second shot to come. For me. I thought there would be one. It never came.
She's forgotten about her cigarette. The butt has burned right down to her fingernails.
Your cigarette, miss.
Oh.
She looks at it and quickly tosses the butt aside. Can I even trust her? I don't know. It seems believable. Sounds believable. But empathy and this role, I mean volition, really doesn't want us to trust her. I'm sorry if this happened to you.
So am I.
She immediately proceeds to light another one.
What time was this? When did it happen? It would help us if you could be as precise as possible.
11:30 to 12:15. I don't know the exact time. Around midnight.
It's okay. Were you inebriated?
Not as much as usual. He'd done a line, plus other things. I was drinking.
This doesn't fit with the testimony of Titus Hardy. He said she was higher than usual.
Titus said you looked pretty high.
Oh, yeah. I did one of his lines, just to clear my head.
Did you hear or see the shooter in the course of this?
No.
What did you do then?
Nothing. I was trapped. I was stuck in my room downstairs. I got some clothes on and crawled back up, drew the blinds. Blood was coming from his mouth. Not a lot. Just a little. He was still on the floor, slouched. I couldn't be there with him anymore, so I ran down and out of my room, into the hallway, down the stairs. I knew there would be people there.
Run, woman. Run past them and out into the streets where it's dark and people move. To the lorries at the intersection, as far as you can.
Why didn't you run away from here? As a matter of fact, why are you here now?
I already ran. I ran from an entire Isola. I can't run any further. Not with these people. This is as far as it gets.
What happened after you ran downstairs?
Sylvie was tending the bar. A lot of people were there. The Hardys were at the table in front of the stage. I think the Union box was full. Ruby was there too. They were having such a good
Ruby
time.
is
I sat
the
down and
8th
they all welcomed me.
Hardy.
I didn't even have to say anything. Ruby knew something was wrong.
Before we continue, who is Ruby?
Ruby. You know, the leader.
The leader? Of what?
The Hardy Boys.
She says as if it's self-evident. I thought Hardy was the leader of the Hardy Boys.
Well, nominally, yes. Ruby's the one they go to when things happen, like things they need taken care of. She's the organizer.
This Ruby, in her phrasing, is entrusted with great power. She trusts her. So do the others.
Would you say she is the 8th Hardy Boy?
He looks at you.
Why not?
Okay, let's go on. What then?
Well, Ruby said let's talk upstairs. I showed her the room. I've known these people since December. They know my situation, that I can't leave a paper trail. Ruby was the first one I told. She said she'd take care of this. It's what she does, you know, take care of things. I helped her get the body to the bathroom. We used a belt to pull him up under the shower, to keep him upright.
To mislead you, they were tampering with the body.
To produce lividity, matching a hanging?
Yes.
This is concurrent with your doubts at the autopsy about the coloring being.
I knew it. The coloring in his lower limbs looked faint.
About half an hour had passed since the moment of death.
She nods.
You were late. The marks would be faint by that time.
He makes a small pointing motion with his pen. It's meant for you. I mean, it still fooled us for a long time, kind of. Well, it wasn't clear. It wasn't apparent. Then what did you do?
Ruby went outside to talk to Titus and the boys. I was just looking at Lely in the bathroom. I had to put his clothes back on. His armor, too. It was tough.
Oh.
But I've seen him take it off and put it on many times.
So he put it back. It's funny that the only thing that left were the boots, which he was wearing already.
It took Ruby maybe half an hour to come back with Titus. I'd gotten him ready by then. They carried him out. I knew what they were going to do. Make it look like a hanging. Ruby said they would.
What did you do while they were hanging him?
Ruby said to wait here. She also said I wouldn't see her for a while. That we should lay low or something. So I did.
So why the fuck didn't you lie about this or try to cover it up? Just because she knew that I can see through the lies? Like, really? This Ruby, where is this Ruby now?
I don't know. I haven't seen her since.
We will need to take this question to the Hardy Boys.
Interesting. Why did this Ruby go through so much trouble to hide something someone else did? Look into this later. What are you doing?
So maybe she's involved in the murder?
Coming up with a theory. She said Ruby knew something was wrong before she said anything. How come? It was loud downstairs. She couldn't have heard the shot.
Well, you could see if the person is distressed.
It is ominous. You already coming up with theories that put the blame on someone other than Claudia.
I mean, she would have to shoot. Like how the fuck she would kill this guy? I really don't. I really don't know. And it fits so far. She also would have to run. Actually, we haven't found the murder weapon, or at least we didn't confirm it is a murder weapon that we found. When it happened, did you hear a gunshot?
When he was shot?
She thinks.
I may have. I don't know. I couldn't hear anything over the glass exploding.
The gunshot wasn't that loud. This is something to keep in mind when assessing the distance of the shot.
And the force of the projectile was very slow. I mean, low. Did you kill her, lady?
What? Why would I put myself through this? Insanity. Get myself cornered like this.
She gathers the last vestiges of her strength. There is a silence.
He wouldn't have died if it weren't for me. I know that. But I would never hurt him.
The wind picks up.
It could have been a desire murder. Maybe an act of jealousy. He was a serviceman. He must have had a gun lying around, close to her hand. A military weapon using jacketed ammunition. Now, you guys suddenly have theories pouring out, when they're obviously just stabs in the dark.
Downstairs, people have this crazy idea that you kill him.
I'm sad to hear that. They must have said it in some fit of frustration or under pressure. They couldn't have meant it. I've talked to them after it happened. No one has implicated me.
He must have had a weapon nearby. Did you use that?
No. I specifically asked him not to carry firearms when he was with me. He only had his stupid armor.
The bullet in his head, it was jacketed, military grade. Who else here has a military rifle? But the rifle was outdated. Didn't we already establish that?
I don't know. His friends have rifles. Maybe those psychos did it? Coalition military have rifles. I'm not a munitions expert, and I did not shoot him.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. The bullet is good, is military grade, but the weapon that shot it was ancient.
She might have been a tad disingenuous when she avoided talking about the bullet in his head before. Look who's waking up from 1,000 years of sleep.
So it's all right now, right? You've lied to me about this bullet before when I said he was shot. You said you were confused.
I've said I'm sorry. What more do you want me to say? I did my best not to lie. It didn't always work.
Desires drive people loco.
She simply shakes her head.
It's okay if you did it in self-defense.
I did not kill him to defend myself from rape. I told you before. That wasn't what happened.
True, sire. 'Tis true.
Okay, I'd like you to answer some more other questions, miss.
Like what?
Could the people after you have killed... Could the people... What? Could the people have been after you? It means... Could the people have been after you? I'm not sure what the hell
That's
is
the
this.
first thing that went through my head when I heard the glass break. I thought they'd found me. They've killed him to punish me. All last week, I've tried not to talk to anyone or be seen with anyone so they wouldn't be hurt. I've come to understand, however, this is paranoia. What happened didn't have anything to do with me.
It probably didn't.
Or I don't know anything anymore. All I do is wait here.
She looks at the table.
We can't go after Loose Cap. Not yet. There are other, saner leads.
I don't ask you to, Lieutenant. But there's one thing I know, is that you'll get nothing from there.
Why did you call the cops if you are hiding?
Because I'm an idiot.
The answer comes fast.
Idiot? She's nothing of the sort.
Well, she already told us what's going on. She just felt bad about the guy hanging there and nobody trying to put him down or calling the cops. So you would have us believe, but you are not.
You have to understand, the people around here, no one was making the call, and he kept rotting. And then they picked his clothes off, and that little fucker threw stones at him. He kept throwing stones at him for 3 days. I could hear the thud, thud. So I called you. I hope with all my heart it's not the last thing I do in Ravachol.
She shakes her head.
She definitely called the cops. That was task complete. It could not have been a lie. That is impossible. Oh God, that was a lie too. Who made the call then?
What?
She did, of course.
Volition, come on. I mean, it all fits so far.
Don't be paranoid, man. It's unbecoming of a police officer. And it makes you sweat.
Those thoughts sometimes just do not help. Should I trust the volition or should I not? When was the window changed?
Last week. Angus and Titus's brother, I think he's called Tibbs, took care of it.
She takes a drag.
You should have another look at that window after this. Reconstruct the scene. It's right there.
Yeah.
Yes, you see the glass sparkle.
I think we are done here for now.
She nods, silently. She doesn't even smoke. Just picks up the cold coffee and holds it in her hands.
The lieutenant glances at you, then at the door.
He's thinking, are we done here? Or should we arrest her? She's a flight risk and she lied to you. She should be taken into custody. No, that won't be necessary. Just leave her alone. She's been through enough. She doesn't need this police brutality. This guy won't budge. You have to wake Multiface up, forcefully, if you want to continue pushing her.
In God's name, wake up.
Who? What? Dear God, you've been lied to. She could have killed her lover and lied to everyone. She's not candid at all. She's smoke and mirrors and will-o-wisps. She probably didn't give you her real name either. Why would she? Arrest her immediately, before she further entangles you in her web of lies. Take it easy. Don't overcompensate with this course correction. Ask questions first. Yes, start at the top. Choose at the bottom. It's how we've always done it. No rush.
Hey. It detected this or just tries to predict? Yeah, I wanted to take her to the custody anyway. Though I was a bit dangling.
See?
Devil woman. Kim, why have we not arrested her yet?
There may be grounds here, at least for an extended detention.
A little whimper. The young woman hears you. She's looking around.
Your real name isn't Classian, do you?
I agree. You wouldn't give us your real name, not when people are after you.
Okay.
Her voice cracks suddenly, like there is a garrote around her neck. Aw, don't make me feel sad now. Okay, what?
Okay, it's not.
Then what's your real name? What is this? Good, you can tell me the truth.
You log your work every week. It's all transmitted to Common, sir. I couldn't just beg you not to enter my name. So I lied. Like I lied before. Like I did at LCSB. I have to lie all the time. I'm so tired of it.
She looks at her hands. Her fingernails are chipped white. tell me your real name?
It's Katarzyna Alazie.
Katarzyna Alazie, okay. The smile on her face is timid, almost painfully so.
It's a Grad name, Jimsk or Yugo-Grad in origin. Not Occidental at all. Smells of motor oil, tiger, economic desolation, and rock music.
That doesn't sound Indian. She doesn't sound Indian, so Grad is not India. But the rich guy had very strong Indian accent.
It also makes Klasia almost
So
an
confusing.
acronym for Katarzyna Alazie.
Wait, Klasia is an abbreviation of Katarzyna Alazie.
It was a sentimental thing. I wanted to be more me here, this time. So I used my nickname.
A nickname? Who gave you this nickname, Klasia?
Who gave it to you?
A teenage boy. 1,000,000 years ago.
Hold on, Katarzyna Alazie is not an Oranese name, is it? It's not even Mundi, it's Grad.
My parents were Zhimsk immigrants, but I'm nationalized Oranese. All I remember is Oranje. Alazie is my father's name.
I just call you Miss Oranje Disco Dancer. Finally we meet Katarzyna Alazie.
She nods. Her round eyes meet yours. They seem moist from the wind on the roof.
Was the passport bullshit too? That passport you keep hidden?
No. It's submerged in a plastic buoy on the coast, in the reeds. It just doesn't say Klasia Amandu. It says Anouk Mea Smit.
Falsified documents?
Passport and visa. Given to me by my employer. I can't even use them. My employer probably leaked the name, Mea Smit, to hurt me.
Why would they do that?
I didn't show up to a rendezvous. They don't take that lightly. I didn't show up because I was afraid they'd do something to me. The job was finished. I'm just a liability now.
She fears an arrest right here and now. This has been an awful turn of events for her.
Where's this boy?
West of the boardwalk, in the reeds. On the coast there. I put it there when I first arrived. Haven't been there since.
West
I'm
of
not sure
the
I could even find it now.
Okay, I'll try to remember that.
It's useless.
West of the boardwalk in the reeds, we have to check this boy out.
The lieutenant makes a note of it.
You're welcome to it. It's in the reeds northwest of here.
I'm not going to
Past the Bergen
check
Sears
it and
pipe.
then arrest her. She
Right
might
near the
actually
waterline.
escape while I do it. You're probably not even Miss Oranje 37, are you?
I am. They can never take my sash and my scepter from me.
Her smile quivers.
Yes, they can. For lying.
Enough.
She nods, her back straight, ready for whatever is next.
You know, I think you didn't make that call to the station.
I did. What is this? I called your desk or whatever it is. The numbers are all over town. Call 8-100-2 for emergencies. There was an older woman on the other end. It sounded like she was smoking. She took my complaint. She coughed.
That is the emergency's desk number. Anyone could know that, sire, by looking around and calling the desk. I don't believe a single word she says.
What time did you make the call?
Thursday night. It was late, sometime after 12.
It checks out.
I mean, the time nails it. Nobody could have known when the call was done.
She stands before you, holding her back very straight.
What if I told you you are under arrest, Alangier?
But I haven't done anything. Anything illegal.
Failure to aid a police investigation. She purposefully misrepresented information crucial to the case. That's right, gang. Stern and merciless now. Stern and merciless as we reel her in.
You misrepresented information about the case. Without the Hardy's confession, we'd know nothing.
The lieutenant produces a pair of handcuffs.
Please no.
Her eyes become round with fear. She tries to back further off.
Fragile, unshielded. Her voice is thin and tired.
I think I know who did it. Who shot Lely. I can tell you. I can help you.
No, she doesn't. Well, let's listen to the theory, but yeah, we're not going to actually trust her on that. What do you know? Who shot him?
She's silent for a second, as if looking into herself for certainty. Then, in a hushed voice, she says, gearing up for this betrayal is hard for her.
Ruby.
That wasn't one of my thoughts. But how would she be able... I mean... She must have had another guy actually doing a shot for her if she wasn't whirling in rags. And how could she have killed him?
You said there was a secret route there, right?
She points to the door that leads to the pinball workshop.
She could have come up through there, then taken the shot. Right here, where I stand. It was too dark outside. I wouldn't have seen her.
And you wouldn't heard just a person running around with a rifle next to a bed? I don't know. Nah, it's just crazy.
Then slipped back downstairs without anyone noticing. That is possible.
Interesting theory. Did she know that door exists? Had you been out there with her?
Yes. She's been up here many times. She used to come to drink on the roof when...
Also, she would have heard the shot for sure then, if it was so close.
The peephole.
She used to come to drink on the roof when... You're thinking about the peephole, right? The perforation in the pinball workshop wall?
She would have seen us. My bed is right next to...
She forgotten her cigarette in the ashtray.
You mean to suggest she made it?
No.
She shrugs it off.
Why would she do that to herself? No, I just remembered you told me about it, and...
What?
Don't let your imagination run wild here, sire. Keep it on track.
Why do you think it was her?
She has this thing for me. Ever since I met her and the boys downstairs. She's been pretty frank about what she wants.
Oh, jealousy, really? What is that?
Sex. And more. I made the mistake of confiding in her. I told her I was on the run. She started protecting me. It became an unhealthy relationship. When I started spending time with Lely, she told me to end it. Said there would be shit if I didn't. It was not a good meeting. We stopped talking after that, but...
I don't understand. What exactly in your relationship made you think she is romantically interested in you?
The lieutenant sounds incredulous.
She said she's in love with me. She even asked me to run away with her when I told her I'm a fugitive. She started developing notions about our relationship.
I mean, why didn't you? Seems like a good thing to do. I guess
and you let her
she's
on?
not into it.
A little. I was flattered, you know? But then I had to let her off, and it was not easy. I came to regret being friendly with her. We maybe kissed, nothing more.
Sounds like she was fixated on you.
This is just an assumption.
I know what it sounds like. That's why I didn't want to tell you before.
She
But
raises
she
her
knew
eyes
what had happened when I
meet
came
yours.
downstairs. Somehow, she knew Lely was dead. She wasn't surprised at all. When we came up here, she was calm as a stone, too. She cleaned it all up like she had a plan.
This is a familiar theory. You had it too, remember? Could it be that Ruby was covering up after herself? The lynching? Yet again, you're coming up with this. The worst thing is, it may be true.
When Ruby said there would be shit happening if you didn't end your relationship with the deceased, was she threatening you?
She came over one night, drunk, said she'd turn my life into a living
Man, I
hell.
really need to go now.
I've been threatened
I hope
before.
it's,
I can tell when someone knows how to do it.
And soon.
And she's a pro. She must be. To keep the Hardys in line. I tried severing ties with her after that. I thought it had worked, but...
She looks through the window of her room. Okay, that's it for Ruby.
Okay, and what? Arrest the liar now. Don't arrest her.
What? Authority?
Push her a bit more, but then let her off. That Ruby theory was solid. And she's
What?
beautiful.
Authority, shut the fuck up.
Her. Stop letting her distract you.
I mean, yeah, she didn't actually relate it to the case. And she's probably telling the truth. But you never know. And Volition is very decided on that. And drama and rhetoric and what is it, suggestion? Logic are teaming up too. That's all good, but I think we should still take you in just in case.
Still?
She says,
After
her
all
voice
this,
breaking.
Sir, please. It's a shitty world, and I know I'm shitty too. I know.
There was an episode in South Park with the shitty people. Where her hands turn into a fist, slowly crushing the cigarette she's still holding.
But I don't deserve to be sent to the moral intern and ground into paste just because I disturbed the sanctity of accounting. That's some multinational...
She's gearing up for a last stand.
I mean, it's still a crime, though. What do you deserve, then?
I don't know. To spend my days with smoke, drink and dance, wallowing in shit. Just like
She throws
everyone
away
else.
the cigarettes. What other options do I have?
You have those station calls, right? Where I have to show up at the station or I'll become a fugitive. You can write me one. You don't have to take me in right now. I promise I won't go out anymore at night. I'll be right here. I know you can do that. Just let me come in on my own. In 2 months, or maybe even 1 month. That's all I need.
You do have the form.
He looks at your ledger.
That's it. I'm calling it. Kim is beyond compromise.
Oh no.
Definitely, sire.
What will have changed in 2 months or 1 month?
Everything could change. This city, the extradition rules, the people after me could be in jail. Or maybe Revachol.
She falls silent.
There is desperation there, in that silence. A cornered animal looking for a way out.
Maybe Revachol could be free. I could be tried in a free Revachol. An independent state that doesn't hand its detainees over to the moral intern.
I find that hard to believe, miss.
I also find it hard to believe.
Don't. The world can change. It has changed before.
She looks at you, frozen to her spot.
That's not the answer she was hoping for. Thought that you were some kind of patriot or communard, did she? This was her last card. There is nothing more she can say. The final decision is yours. You alone stand on the throne of your mind.
I've made my choice.
She looks at you in silence, her face filled with fear, lips parted. Wait. If you arrest her, Kim will have to transport her. You'd be without your partner for the rest of the day.
Whatever.
Shut up. He's making a decision, and it's his to make.
Yeah, the start of the day is not that great. But yeah, we'll have to be decisive here. It's really sad. She's probably telling the truth, but she also might be lying about some things, and maybe it will help us to solve the case. Plus, she's a criminal. She has to answer for her crimes, and I don't think moral intern going to execute her. He just exaggerates things. Kim, arrest her before this drags out any longer.
I will escort you to the motor carriage outside, miss.
With a muffled whimper, she extends her wrists. They're white, bony, exposed below the rolled-up sleeves of her jumpsuit.
This won't be necessary. I will take you to Station 57 myself and slow the extradition process as much as I can. It may be possible to stall it indefinitely, but you will be safer there for the purposes of this investigation. I can do this on my own. She's not an immediate flight risk. See you tomorrow morning, officer. Downstairs, at the Whirling in Rags. Or outside your shack.
Alright, I have to go quick or I'll be late to the bus now. Alright, see you. It was fun.